It's Susanna Perkins coming to you with another update in our video series on the UltraSimple diet, which I've just completed. And I wanted to just report back to you quickly on what I found with the diet and my experiences with it. I have already updated an article on the website that I'd encourage you to look at, where I go through some actual numbers and figures and that sort of thing. But this video is just so I can kind of give you my impressions of the diet. It's billed as a 1-week diet, and that's kind of misleading, because there's a week of preparation where you gradually wean yourself off of caffeine and eliminate sugar and wheat and a few other things from your diet before you even start the actual diet itself. And during that week you also do some other preparation. You can do some shopping and get your supplements in and that kind of thing. So that's week 1, which is really the preparation. Week 2 is the diet itself, and this is the week that I've just finished. And the diet, I have to say, is not really very simple. It is simple in the sense that the book lays it out step by step, so you have a clear roadmap of where you're going in every step of the way, and that part of it is great. But as far as the execution, I didn't find it that simple. Even though I have been not eating junk food or processed food or a lot of the things that typically American diet consists of, even though I haven't been doing those things for years, there were still some fairly big adjustments that I had to make in the way that I prepared food, and even the way I thought about food during the week. Also, there was a lot to consume. There were a couple of protein shakes a day. There were 3 or 4 cups of the special ultra broth, which you make from vegetables that you boil down into a nice stock. That's in addition to your lunch, dinner, and any other snacks you might have, depending on how hungry you are. So the first day was a little bit difficult. I felt as though I spent the entire day either in the kitchen or at the table, either preparing or eating something. But even though I felt as though I was eating all day, I still felt pretty hungry, so that was a little weird. Day 2 was awful. There's just no other word for it. And we'd been warned that it would be awful. I mean, the book was clear about the fact that the second day was usually very difficult as you start to flush out the toxins and all of that. I felt extremely tired. I felt crabby. I felt just kind of out of sorts in general. Nothing seemed right. But mostly I just felt really, really tired the whole day. And it was a big effort to me to prepare and consume the food that I was supposed to. I did not eat nearly as much that day because it just seemed like too much trouble. So day 2 was basically awful. Day 3 was quite a bit better. And then day 4, much to my surprise, I slept really, really well, got a good night's sleep for the first time in several days. And day 4, I felt fantastic. I had so much energy. I just felt as though I was bursting with energy. I have not felt that full of life in 20 years or more. And that was just kind of incredible and miraculous. That was fabulous. So day 4 was really, really terrific. Day 5, 6, and 7 were pretty good. I was having some sleep issues throughout, and that made things a little more challenging maybe than they should have been, because there were a couple of days there, even after that second awful day, when I was just really, really tired and dragging. But the good part of it is, even though I was tired, I was thinking more clearly. My brain seemed to be working better. I hadn't realized, I guess, how much brain fog I had until it was gone. And it started leaving on day 3, which was, when I started to feel better. But the rest of the week, even when I felt physically tired or sleepy, my brain felt active and useful, and that's a wonderful feeling. You can't put a price tag on that. In addition, some of my blood glucose readings were really, really improved. I had one day where my fasting glucose, first thing in the morning was about 108, I think, and that's down from about 120 is what it had been running. I had one day later in the week when it was down to 97. I don't think it's ever been that low. And then I had an after meal reading one day that was 100, and again, that's really, really low compared to what I've been running. Normally, after a meal, it's around 112, 115, in that range somewhere. So that is hugely encouraging. In addition, I lost 4 pounds. Now, some of you might think, 4 pounds, what's the big deal? Well, normally for me to lose 4 pounds, I mean, it could take 4 months. So for me to lose 4 pounds in a week is totally mind-boggling and extremely encouraging, and I'm hoping that it means that I've eliminated enough toxins from my system and cleaned up my liver enough to be able to continue losing the weight, which I really do need to lose in order to be a healthier person and to reverse this type 2 diabetes. So on the whole, I'm very pleased with the results I've gotten. It was not an easy diet to do. It's honestly, it's not for the faint of heart. But if you truly want to improve your health, I highly recommend it. It's worth the trouble. I'm continuing now with the post-diet follow-up, I don't know what to call it, where there's a couple of weeks now where I have more choices about what I can eat than I did while I was actually on the diet, but there are still a number of common food allergens and things that are on the do not consume list. And then after that, I gradually reintroduce the allergenic foods, one at a time, slowly, so that there's no specific time period associated with that one. It all depends on how quickly I can assimilate those foods, and that's things like, corn, dairy, eggs, wheat and gluten, those sorts of foods, and so that will take an additional period of time. So I'm going to continue with it, doing this follow-up, and then I'm going to kind of ease my way into a more long-term eating plan that should help me to continue to reverse the diabetes. And I thank you for watching, and I invite you to join me in my attempts to overcome diabetes. I hope you do too.